get that bye and finish in first place. They're the only team in the league that didn't have a bye in the second half of their season. They had 2 byes in the first half as the stadium was being completed.
Polaris over the top. Bakari Grant's first reception. Grant coming off a 600-yard plus season. 3 touchdowns, 58 grabs, and one of their clutch go-to guys.
It was a year of transition in so many ways for the Tiger Cats offensively. A lot of the focus on the quarterback spot, of course, but where so much of the offense in the past had been about the big receivers. Last year, Andy Fantus, Bakari Grant, Greg Ellingson, all 6'3" and up. This year it changed as they send their punt team onto the field.
3rd and a long yard. They decide not to go for it. Keep in mind, the Cats were the most successful team on 3rd down conversions, 3rd and short this season, but deciding to go for field position here. And again, will boot into the wind. Spiraling kick. Gilliard slips. 3-on-3. Mark Beswick nails Gilliard. 2014 in the Eastern Final.
He's an insurance broker.
Jonathan Crompton in his 2nd CFL playoff game. This is where he's come from, a high school quarterback, ranked number 3 in the United States, a San Diego Chargers 5th round pick. Of course, spent time at Tennessee where he was the Vols quarterback. Edmonton last year, 3rd string quarterback, and this year 9-2. 9-2 as a starter. Pretty good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely remarkable, Jonathan Crompton. The settling influence, a guy who's brought a sense of calm into that Montreal huddle.
Tucks that mullet under that helmet. It's not for style for Jonathan Crompton. Donating his hair at the end of the season to Locks for Love to help kids in cancer treatment. Likeable young man who's become a terrific leader for the Alouettes. Play action again. Against the grain, it's picked. Eric Harris has it. Still on his feet. Harris rumbling now. There's a penalty flag down. Eric Harris down inside the 10-yard line. Crompton makes the tackle. Loses his helmet. There is a penalty flag back near the 45-yard line. And this entire play depends on that flag.
Well, I think the flag came after the interception. A little battle behind the play.
Foul. Unnecessary roughness. Montreal number 89. 15-yard half the distance from where the ball become dead. And a first down for Hamilton.
Well, to Carter on the wrong end of that penalty.
And Carter lines up. He's the outside receiver. He's going to be working his way across the middle. Crompton gets locked in on him a little bit here.
Play is under review by the command center.
And that's the automatic review going on because of a turnover. But Eric Harris, the linebacker, just steps in front of this one. Crompton, again, locked in on the receiver. Didn't see Harris, the strong side linebacker, sliding over in front. Now, as for that flag, if you look right in the middle of your screen there is Duron Carter, and he's in a pretty good battle behind the play. And he takes a big swing at Brandon Stewart, who was blocking him. So that was what earned the additional flag at the end.
So 2 critical interceptions thrown by Crompton in this ball game. Montreal's already scored points off of 1. And Harris stays on his feet after being knocked down, gets up, wasn't tagged.
Eric Harris, he's been a jack of all trades for this Hamilton team over the last couple of years.
Crompton,
after review,
later got
the
rolled
Hamilton
over.
Ball carrier was down with contact at the Montreal 53-yard line, and then we're going to apply a major foul, unnecessary roughness. Montreal number 89, a 15-yard penalty enforced from the 53-yard line, and a first down for Hamilton.
So very different call now. They're saying that Harris was down by contact. Still Hamilton football. Deeming him down. Duro's got to maintain some composure in this ball game.
Let's see, as they rule that Harris down by contact. I'm not convinced. Right? Any part of your body. It looked like his hand and wrist were touching, not an elbow or forearm.
Brandon Banks, the high hurdle. And into some Canadian beef on the sideline.
Well, Brandon Banks has been the spark plug, energizing this Hamilton Tiger Cat offense. A high hurdle there, just another clip for the highlight reel for number 16.
Winston Venable being looked at. So despite the turnover, if the Alouettes can hold here, this can turn out a lot better than it was looking for a while. It would have been first and goal inside the 5-yard line. Marc-Olivier Briette is out of this ball game. Early in the ball game, a collision with Luke Tasker, so they're missing their starting free safety. Venable's now running across the field. Looks like he's okay.
Well, with medical attention going out, he'll have to be out of the lineup for 3 plays. So it may limit the packages they can use a little bit, but they do have some depth with Abear and Cox playing those outside linebacker spots, but they won't be able to obviously get the extra cover linebacker on the field without Venable.
Double tight end package here for the Cats. Collaros with protection. Throws it sideline. Once again, Mr. Banks. You know, if Brandon Banks wasn't a football player, he'd be a heck of a mime.
Well, he's getting the crowd into it, that's for sure. Brandon Banks, like, he gets better and better every week and just becomes an increasingly important part of this Tiger Cat offense.
Goes out in motion with Tasker. Again, double tights. Grigsby in the pistol. Takes it. Flag down. A bear can't hang on. Mike Edom tackles him up high near the first down marker. Let's see what the flag is about here.
Offside. Montreal number 91. Penalties decline. First down Hamilton.
Alan Michael Cash. It's getting worse here for the Owls now. The ball is where it was before.
Well, it's Cash on the inside who goes offside, but also keep an eye on Bakari Grant. He's coming across the formation to block Gerald Brown off the edge. Pretty good collision over there, but he rattles his head off Brown's thigh. Both guys were kind of slow to get up here. We'll keep an eye on Bakari Grant in that offensive formation.
Keep in mind, a very good Montreal defense in this area this season. Tough to break. Collaros stood up, brought down. When they tighten the screws inside that 5-yard line, the Alouettes as good as any defense in this league.
They sure are a tough physical bunch. You see all the flow was going to the left side. The receivers all blocked there. The line pulled that way. And it's basically Zach Collaros going solo in the middle.
Late substitutions now jogging onto the field for the Owls. Have to line up quickly. Second and goal. Kolaris again. Pistol formation with Grigsby. The hand to Grigsby. The touchdown, Grigsby. Another costly interception for the Alouettes.
That's been the story of the season series between these two teams. Points off turnovers. The Tiger Cats had a lead on the Alouettes in the September game, and the Alouettes stormed back because of Hamilton turnovers. Here, 2 weeks ago, the Hamilton Tiger Cats capitalized on turnovers throughout, en route to a victory that catapulted them to first place in the East. And here today, the Hamilton Tiger Cats with 2 touchdowns resulting from interceptions.
Grigsby with his second score of the day. Cats lead 27-14. Right after this one, Eskimo Stampeders Battle of Alberta Western Conference Final. Trip to the 102nd Grey Cup on the line. Coming up, Nick Grigsby has scored twice here. The Cats have scored twice off of Montreal interceptions. Have opened up a 27-14 lead here. Under 6 to go, third quarter. Bouncing back now is Dominic Ellis. Lost yardage on this return.
And Jonathan Crump, who's made his mark and enjoyed great success this season by avoiding what you would call those disaster plays, those turnovers that lead to points. Needs to get back to his winning ways here in the second half of this ball game, already with 14 Hamilton points resulting from turnovers. One of them a Delvin Breaux interception in the first half. Most recently an Eric Harris interception to set up the second Nick Grigsby touchdown.
First and 10 from the 29. There's the rush. Quick hitter, big lick. S.J. Green gets hammered but hangs on to the football. Eric Norwood flattened him.
And there you see the range of Norwood lining up as a defensive end here on the right side of your screen. He's going to drop out. Former college linebacker. Delivers a shot, but S.J. Green is as tough as they come.
Second and short yardage. No Tanner Marsh. Crompton stays in. Cluster formation, gives it up the middle. Brandon Rutley churning now and takes it over the midfield stripe into Hamilton territory.
Brandon Rutley does a nice job of running through that first contact at the line of scrimmage. He's got just a little bit of a crease from his offensive line. The big boy's doing a nice job here, and you see the combination, both Rutley and Rainey together in that backfield. Good job right at the point of attack through the arm tackle from Harris. He's through to the free safety. Big run for the Alouette running back.
9 carries, 50 yards for Brandon Rutley. Why not again? You talked about the bless on Jonathan Crompton's game card today. This is a guy who has shown, though, that he gets unfazed by this stuff. His numbers are very pedestrian when you think about some of the great quarterbacks and the numbers that have been put up this season, particularly a quarterback who is 9-2. He is one of those outliers.
Yeah, well, he's not a guy who's thrown for big yardage, but the thing he has done, particularly more recently in the streak, is he's avoided interceptions. Really his breakthrough as he came on through for a bunch of yards in the loss to Winnipeg. He threw 3 picks in that game, including a couple of deflected balls, but has largely avoided interceptions during his time as a starter, and that's been a huge part of his success, and that's what has, I would say, overcome the lack of big numbers throwing the football, is that he has taken care of the ball.
Great catch from Brandon London, and they get a very good spot here, close to the first down. They'll measure here. London gets Bent like a pretzel by Rico Murray.
And Brandon London, the other member of what is often referred to as the big three. In that receiving corps, you see Jeff Garcia, former Grey Cup champion with the Calgary Stampeders, former Pro Bowler, is a San Francisco 49er, and now the quarterback coach here with the Montreal Alouettes.
Saw him at practice this week. He looks like he can still toss that pigskin.
It's been a lot of fun to watch Jeff in pregame warm-ups throughout the year. He's out there, he'll run stairs to get warm, and then he's out there running around throwing footballs.
There it is, third down. 1 yard to go, so Tanner Marsh behind center. Lunging straight ahead. And Garcia has provided a lot of mentorship here. So has Turk Schonert, quite obviously helped the young guy, Jonathan Crompton, and led to this transformation in the win-loss column.
Yeah, and certainly for Jeff Garcia in particular, as a guy who knows this league, has played in this league, has enjoyed success in this league as a quarterback. In such a great position to relate to this young trio of quarterbacks with the Alouettes.
Alouettes chewing up the real estate now. Crompton, time, and the slant pattern, and there goes Duron Carter. Waiting for that big play from Duron Carter, who has had a very quiet afternoon. A couple of penalties that have not gone his way, an objectionable conduct, a roughing call, but also a DPI that did go the Owls' way. A challenge call. It's his catch here that moves the sticks.
Yeah, able to get a good release. There's a situation where Delvin Breaux, who's so adept with the jam at the line of scrimmage, wasn't able to get hands on Duron Carter.
Brandon Rutley. So, like Luke Tasker, the apple does not fall far for Duron Carter. His dad, no, he's pretty good. Pro Football Hall of Famer. Big long stride like his boy. The guy who is, I'm sure, keeping an eye on this one in the ESPN studios today with Boomer Chris Berman, who was here on Labor Day, helped open up this stadium with John Saunders. Crompton, 2nd and 9, goes deep. And S.J. Green, not sure if that was a broken route or, but that ball was not even close.
Yeah, timing a little bit off. Rico Murray was over top on Green on that one. It's going to be tough to get their big receiver open, S.J. Green. The middle receiver in this set with Carter and London. It looked like Green wanted to break it a little flatter, whereas Crompton wanted to throw him a little bit higher in terms of the angle coming out of that break.
Sean White, almost 88% this season. Is from the 33. It's up and it is through with the breeze. Keep in mind, Hamilton will have the wind in the 4th. Hamilton has the lead right now by 10. Sean White down to Main Street. From here, Steve Tasker became a legend with the Buffalo Bills. Gunner on special teams, great wide receiver as well, part of the Bills run and 4 Super Bowls, a 7-time Pro Bowler. Let's go down to Matthew Shinetti.
You know, Rod, there's two pieces of advice that Steve Tasker gave his son Luke Tasker. One, tighten up your chin strap real tight because you don't want your helmet to come off when you're going into contact. And 2, think of contact as a reminder of the privilege to play the game, and that's what Tasker told us yesterday. But the funny thing is, when his quarterback, and he really appreciates how much contact Tasker takes, when he sees Tasker come up with the ball after a big hit, Caleros comes over and laughs and kind of jokes and says, "Man, what a catch, what a hit you took." And Tasker's response, he just looks at Caleros and says, "Zach, but what's the next play?" Guys?
Yeah, just like Pops. 27-17 right now. Terrell Sinkfield. taken down at the 33-yard line. Luke Tasker returns to the field. His dad's broadcasting in Atlanta today, I'm sure watching. But Luke credits his dad for a lot of what he has.
He was never a guy to say, you know, make sure you're the toughest guy on the field or something like that. That wasn't his message to me. But it took one play of watching him play the game to understand what he thought of physicality, and it was his game, you know. And he was smaller than I am, and playing on the Bills, and that was something that he was known for.
Certainly was. Son can take a lick and keeps on tick. And there's Sinkfield, brought down by Gerald Brown.
Luke Tasker, much as Steve carved out a reputation for himself in the National Football League, Luke in a year and a half CFL, making a name for himself as a terrific clutch receiver.